Hey Spider Nation, welcome back to another episode of Spider-Man's Tangled WebShow. I'm Jonathan, and joining me tonight is James. What's going on,
Jared
James?
has no taste.
Okay, that was an interesting introduction.
Let's
James,
just say you're gonna get a role reversal from normal episodes. Know how we are normally when we talk about amazing? The positive guy is John, and me being the negative guy. Well, get ready for a spectacular change this week. Let's just say.
yeah, okay, we'll get to that later. There's gonna be some interesting stuff going on with Spectacular. We'll admit that. We do have the Spectacular Spider-Man to review this week. The first issue did come out. But first, before we get into that, we do have quite a bit of news actually to discuss. There's a lot that's come out, especially in the last 24 hours. So it's a good thing we do this podcast tonight because I guess we're the first people to talk about it. Cool, cool.
In your face, crook.
I have no idea what James was about to say there. Nope, none at all.
I was gonna say in your face, crook.
No idea. But yeah, so Marvel. For those of you who don't know, Marvel Legacy is something that's coming up.
You mean nothing?
Yeah, okay, James. Don't go forcing your opinion before I've even finished the setup. Marvel Legacy is the next big rebranding that Marvel's doing. This is coming up, I think, in October. I could be wrong on that. I don't know if that's exactly the time, but it's fall, basically, fall 2017. And so we've got, as of today, we have 52 new covers for the Marvel Legacy line.
Wait,
And
52.
yes, James,
52.
Possibly more to come. We don't know, but 52 new covers.
52.
52 new covers for Marvel Legacy
DC,
titles.
I hope you got your lawyers ready.
52 new covers for Marvel Legacy titles, and Amazing Spider-Man is in there. Renew Your Vows is in there. Miles' book is in there. What else is in there? Spider-Gwen's in there. All the Spider books are in there. Ben Riley's in there.
What's the spectacular one?
Spectacular's in there. Yes, I just forgot about that, even though I just mentioned it a minute ago.
Because I didn't see the last batch because I went to work. What were the last batch?
I don't know. I viewed like the master list that Newsarama put up. I don't know what was in what batch, but basically we can run down. We don't have any official creative team announcements yet. Nothing was officially put out there by Marvel. They just released these covers for the Marvel Legacy titles, so we don't know exactly who's going to be working on Amazing, who's going to be working on Miles.
Yeah, I'm using Roma. Where's the master list?
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know, just go on their Twitter feed and just scroll down. You'll find the article. That's where I found it. But
Oh no, I found it. The article is called Marvel's Legacy Supercut, all 52. No, really, 52 new and returning titles.
it's like even Newsarama's not having this. But yeah, so we've got Amazing Spider-Man. The cover is an homage to what did you say it was, James? Because I wasn't familiar with it.
Something bullshit like that.
Yeah, apparently it's some '70s rock and roll album that Spider-Man had a Ramita cover, like the Spider-Man Ramita cover for a rock album that they're referencing for the Amazing Spider-Man Legacy cover. Meanwhile, Spectacular.
Oh, wait a second. They're not bringing back the Fantastic Four, but they're bringing back Marvel 2-in-1 with the thing where he teams up with Johnny Storm every month?
I guess.
Why not just call it the Fantastic 2 and give it the Fantastic Four numbering?
I don't know, James. I'm not Marvel's PR guy.
Because these last couple, like, literally, this is the first time he's viewing them.
But yeah, so we've got Amazing Spider-Man with the rock album homage cover. Then you have Spectacular, which is referencing an old
Spectacular's cover is Captain America?
Yep, I was literally just
couldn't have done like this?
Spectacular's cover is an homage to an old Captain America issue where he is put into prison as a way. I don't even remember what the story is.
The face thing on the bottom is even fucking Captain America.
I don't even remember what the story of that issue is, but yeah, it's like Cap's in prison. I think he's there to like test something out or something. I don't remember. I know he's not there for like any crime or anything. I've read that issue. I don't remember the story. Miles's book. I don't remember what homage Miles's book has. Ben Reilly's book is an homage to, I think, Amazing Spider-Man 51.
Miles is annual number 1
Miles
with the
is
Sinister Six.
Miles is a Sinister Six homage.
That's right here. You see it.
Ben Reilly is an homage to Amazing Spider-Man 51.
Spider-Gwen is an homage to the first Eric Larson Venom cover.
Yeah, there's a lot of homages with these covers, and that's the point. That's
my point. My thing is, if I can interrupt John, is look at X-Men, an old classic issue of X-Men, X-Men 100, is the cover for X-Men Gold. Why is the cover for Spectacular one from Captain America? Why was the Daredevil book a fucking X-Men cover, and then a Daredevil cover is used for somebody else? Why couldn't you? Do you think logic will tell you Spider-Man books get Spider-Man covers, Daredevil books get Daredevil cover, X-Men get X-Men, Fantastic Four get Fantastic Four? You know what I mean? Do you think that would be logical? Unless it's a book that literally just debuted like a month ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's a book from this year, you're not obviously going to go back to retro. Then you want to throw in like a Marvel team in one or a Marvel team up as their cover. Do that then. But when you do that with your big hitters, it's like you could have picked any cover from this series, from its old legacy, and you pick a Fantastic Four one that's going to probably have no relevance to the actual book.
And Renew Your Vows, the cover is an homage to Amazing 252.
Which is leading some people to believe it's the finale.
No, it's
because it's a grown-up Spider-Gwen.
No, it's not.
I mean, grown-up May, you know what I mean?
No, it's not. It's Mary Jane.
No, it's Annie.
No, Mary Jane's on front and center on that cover.
No, it's Annie. Because it's Spiderling. It says the rumors are true. Grown-up Spiderling.
I thought it was introducing the new Spinneret. Someone tell me which one it is right now.
It says the Spiderling, because Mary Jane is one of the people holding onto the arm. Hey, can we on the Spider-Man cover? Here it is. It's Rockonomic. This is clearly a Dan Slottism. Let's call it what it is. He picked. Oh, Dan, you get to pick any classic Amazing Spider-Man cover you want for the variant cover for Legacy. I want the Spider-Man disco album from the 70s that only 2 people probably remember. And I'm one of the 2.
I honestly didn't even know that this album existed until James told me.
I didn't either until I fucking saw the cover. I'm like, what the hell is this supposed to be homaging?
Yeah, James had to fill me in on that one. I had no idea what he was talking about.
And it's literally, I look at all these covers, that's the most lame one. Because it's literally just Spider-Man with a white background.
And if you notice on that cover, James, he's got the classic costume back.
Well, is that really a shock to you since he's got that costume and all the publicity, photos, teasers they had?
So I guess that means goodbye Spider Armor, goodbye Parker Industries for good?
Well, that was kind of obvious. Like a Jessica Jones cover, out of all the iconic ones from her, you pick a Marvel team-up annual. Granted, Purple Man's the villain on that cover too, so that's the tie-in, but still. You could have picked any fucking cover from Jessica Jones, especially the tie-in to the fucking TV show, and you pick a Marvel team-up annual.
Ladies and gentlemen, James does not like this Marvel Legacy rollout that they did today. He really didn't.
Because it's literally, I look at it and it's like, oh, what do you know? Dr. Doom and Ironheart are still Iron Man. Oh, what do you know? USA Avengers are still a thing. Oh, this person's still a thing. Then how is it any fucking different than what's going on right now in Marvel? There is no change here so far. Besides Spider-Man's costume, everybody looks and feels the same it was 6 months ago.
Okay, but, so, I mean, do we have anything else to say about Marvel Legacy? I mean, it's pretty much...
Spider-Man Deadpool got a cover. That is the book that just will not die, isn't it?
Yeah, that book is still going on.
Yeah, see? The rumors are true. Introducing the grown-up Spiderling. Mary Jane's right there web-swinging.
Wait, go up. Push your phone down. Introducing...
Look who it is. Look who's in the arm.
Introducing the new Spider-Link. Okay, gosh damn it, I was wrong. Thank you.
It's clearly, and it's a redhead. It's a redhead. It's clearly an adult, which is leading some, of course, some of the marriage are coming back. You know, conspiracy theories to be like, see, they're making her the teenage hero again. So this is gonna be the new Spider-Girl title. Renew your vows, and then Peter and MJ are gonna be back together and amazing. It's all been confirmed. No, it's not.
Okay, James, thank you for making me feel bad. I've just embarrassed myself on the internet. Oh my gosh, I've never done that before. So yeah, Marvel Legacy. James, he really didn't like this rollout.
It's no different. There's nothing. Oh, Sam Wilson's Falcon again, which means that Cap's gonna be not Hydra no more. Oh, so instead of it being the same thing it was a year ago, it's the same thing it was 2 years ago.
Actually, Sam Wilson was still Captain America 2 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay, minus that and Peter wearing his fucking classic suit, everything else looks exactly the same it was 5 months ago. There is nothing new about this. It's just the next phase of Marvel they do every fucking year. Once again, it's Marvel saying, we're rebooting, guys! Psych, gotcha, you bought new number ones.
James, speaking of psych, we got you. I think we've got ourselves something, because apparently there's another spin-off movie coming from Sony
That nobody's gonna watch.
Who's up for a Kraven Mysterio movie, guys? I don't
like. One thing if you announce that they're the villains of the Sable, Black Cat movie, but okay, let's see all the people who they in the last week that they have theoretically took off the table from a MCU movie now.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've forgotten if Kraven and Mysterio are getting their own movies or if they're both in the same movie. I've forgotten that.
It might be that they're going to be cameoing in other movies before they make their big movie debut. Because let's see, Venom's off the table. Carnage is off the table. Black Cat's off the table. Silver Sable's off the table. Norman Osborn's off the table. Norman fucking Osborn is off the table.
Well, that they did from the start because he was in like 3 or 4 out of the 5 past movies. They specifically blacklisted any characters that were in the past movies from being in Homecoming and probably the sequel.
Which is bullshit.
They said that the only ones allowed in Homecoming specifically were Peter, Aunt May, and Flash. They blacklisted everyone else who's ever been in a movie before.
So you're not going to get an MCU Gwen or Mary Jane.
We'll talk about this.
You're not going to get an MCU Norman Osborn or Harry Osborn. How can you call it your Marvel Cinematic Universe with all these characters?
We'll talk about this in the spoiler section because we got.
How can you have Spider-Man movies without these fucking characters that are important to the character? Notice you didn't name off Uncle Ben. Are they going to ignore Uncle Ben like the 70s show did?
No.
Are they just going to ignore him?
No, I don't think they are. We'll talk about this in the spoiler section because at the end of the show we're going to do a spoiler section because we got a full cast list for Spider-Man Homecoming today and there's some good stuff in there. So what were we even talking about? Oh yeah,
that'll be like if the DCEU announced, you know what? Back like 2-3 years ago, and I know they obviously didn't do this right now because these two characters are here. But when they first announced Batman vs Superman, they're like, guess what? And there's gonna be no Joker or Lex Luthor because we did them in depth in like 20,000 goddamn movies before here. So in our cinematic universe, there's gonna be no Lex Luthor or the Joker. Oh wait, there was. Because these are characters that are part of the fucking framework for the character. People want to see these guys in this team-up universe. It's not the same as just rebooting them in their own separate universe again over and over again. This is Norman Osborn interacting with Tony Stark in a boardroom. This is fucking, stuff that's different. It's new. You can have Venom in space bumping. You can have the symbiote in space with the fucking Guardians in the Galaxy.
Yeah, so Kraven and Mysterio are now apparently off the table because they're going to get spin-off movies.
Norman's off the table. It's like literally the casting list of what I heard. The list, I gave it to John. It's like almost like 90% of Spider-Man's villains. They are literally just leaving the scrapes for Marvel, which is sickening if you ask me. Doc Ock, I think they said is going to be in Black Cat. you're literally taking everybody off the table. Who's going to be left as Spider-Man villains? Just the 3 or 4 we got confirmed right now?
We'll talk about it, but why do we need Kraven and Mysterio for a spinoff or spinoffs? Why?
Because we got to keep them out of Marvel's hands. We got to do them. That way Marvel doesn't do them.
It's almost a parody of itself at this point.
It's literally that classic fable about why Fox will never do a deal with Marvel to get X-Men and Fantastic Four in the MCU. Why do only 50% of the revenue when we can get 100%? Spider-Man, we can share him because 50% of Spider-Man revenue is everybody else's 100%, theoretically, because Spider-Man sells like hotcakes. But for his villains, we don't want to only get 50% of the profits from a Green Goblin, a Venom, a Carnage, a Doc Ock. We want all those profits for ourselves. That's all that is. It's a money thing. And we have Amy Pascal in interviews, blindsiding fucking Kevin Feige.
Which is the funniest interview I've ever seen in my life.
These movies are in the MCU too, so that way Marvel can't say shit, because now when people ask, why can't you use characters in the MCU? They are. Because we're getting 100% of the control of the characters in our corner of the MCU, which doesn't really exist.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't want to speak for Kevin Feige, but I saw like a still image of that interview.
This is his face when she says, This is the same universe as the Peter Parker in Homecoming. This is his look, John. The fuck? Like, he doesn't say it. He doesn't mouth it. But the look on his face is clear. What the fuck did she say?
It was the funniest.
And then when he laughs, and then when they said, does that mean Tom Holland's going to be in the Venom movie? She goes, you never know. And then he gets the most awkward, good one. Good one.
Yeah, it's like Kevin Feige was just like, what the hell is going on here?
And a lot of people are going, no, they're spoiled. She spoiled a surprise. He was in on this too. No. A surprise would be a different reaction than that whole kind of looking like, what the fuck did she say? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like Kevin's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do so much damage control now. Kevin's like, oh my gosh, what did she just do?
And it's a power play by Sony. Her saying that means Marvel can't just come out next week and say, that's the Sony version of Venom. The MCU version of Venom is going to be in Guardians 3. You know what I mean? They can't say that now if Sony's, and they want to make sure they're on the good side of Sony. So if Sony's saying this is the same MCU guy, they can't go behind Sony's back now and cast their own Eddie Brock and their own Norman Osborn and their own Kraven the Hunter and their own Mysterio and their own Black Cat and their own Carnage, because they don't want to piss off Sony now. And then they lose all the Spider-Man rights. That's all that is. It's a power play.
I think that's a good segue to our next segment, which is the review of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #1, which came out this week. So giving a quick rundown of the creative team here.
Awesome.
Just gotta move into it. Chip Zdarsky is the writer. I apologize if I'm butchering his name. I apologize. Adam Kubert is the artist, and Jordi Belair is the color artist. So, James, fill us in. What happens in this first issue of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man?
Shit. Talking mushrooms, this was awesome.
Okay, James. Care to elaborate?
It begins with something, that we always see every other time. But then again, like Stanley says, every comic's somebody's first. And we begin it with, recap, power and responsibility, bit by Rating Spider, parents die in a plane crash, Uncle Ben gets shot, Peter Parker's life sucks. He's going over this again, and he's telling it to Johnny Storm, who's like, Peter, you told me the story 1,000 times. You invited me over for tacos. I don't want to hear your life story again. I'm Johnny Storm. And then it's kind of cool, it's the classic. We haven't seen this. Why? Besides that issue 3 of Amazing, why haven't we seen more of Johnny Storm has free time now that there's no Fantastic Four? Why haven't we seen more of him and Peter Parker just chilling around as dudes? And they're just chilling around, hanging out. And then I know it's really weird saying chilling out with Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, but still, they're having a fun time. Peter's all like, yeah, since I started Parker Industry, I haven't really got time to actually be Spider-Man and be a superhero and fucking protect people and stop burglars and hang out with my real friends. I love how that's got to be a shot at Dan Slott. I don't care what anybody says. But how he goes, yeah, since Parker Industries, I've been so busy, I haven't got a chance to do everything everybody wants Spider-Man to fucking do in a Spider-Man book. So he goes down, he sees a bank robbery going on. He goes down, he goes to be Spider-Man, he's awesome. Ant-Man is there. Ant-Man helps out and helps clean up the mess, and him and Ant-Man are talking, and then Ant-Man takes him to see some guy who looks just like Andre the Giant, but he's related to the Tinkerer, but he looks like Andre the Giant, so fuck it, I'm going to call him Andre the Giant. So Andre the Giant is talking to Spider-Man, and Peter at first is like, guy related to Tinkerer, my second or third supervillain, and he knows all his superhero secrets. One, that's fucking bullshit that nobody told Spider-Man, which is again his classic Spider-Man. Nobody told him about it. And he's like, two, how do we know we trust this guy because he's related to the Tinkerer? And he goes, great power and responsibility. And Peter's like, that guy's awesome. Want to rebuild my web shooters with me? And so that has a really cool montage as he fixes the web shooters. And Peter's like, yeah, you are awesome. Thanks. And that guy's like, thanks. And then Peter web swings away. Johnny Storm is doing more stuff with Peter. Not really more stuff with Peter, but he's just doing stuff. And then here's a knock on the door. Who is it? But Teresa Parker. And for you that don't know, this is the same Teresa Parker from Spider-Man Family Business. And she says she's Peter Parker's sister. To be continued. Dun, dun, dun.
And James, you left out the part of Peter going to going to Ironheart's house because he's tracking down a hacked Stark phone, and it leads him there. So he gets.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah, he goes.
But that was really kind of like filler. You know what I mean? It wasn't really the main focal points of the issue. That's why I kind of skipped over that.
Yeah, but he has a little.
It's mostly just like, oh, she's here. You know what I mean?
He has a
Buy her
confrontation.
book.
He has a confrontation with Ironheart. But
and it's pretty much a whole buy her book. You know what I mean?
So James, what did you think of this issue?
It's fucking awesome.
Wow, James.
I mean, look at this. The issue begins with the way I want to see Spider-Man. And it's fitting that it happened in the spectacular Spider-Man because he's living on the edge, fighting crime-spinning webs, swinging from the highest level. He can leap above your head. This is Spider-Man, not Batman. It's Tony Stark here. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man. No, Spider-Man. Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's not him trying to be Bruce Wayne put together with Tony Stark. This is Peter Parker, a rich guy with his own company, but still swinging around New York City and saving the little guy. That's Spider-Man. Not fucking driving around with hot Asian girlfriend who I don't even know her name. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. That's how he's been lately. What was the name of that Asian chick? Because seriously, I keep on forgetting. What was it?
I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember.
I don't remember. And I'm trying to think, does Dan thought of an Asian fetish? Because you got Sydney Moon, you had the girlfriend, whatever her name is, and then you had that weird panel, where he's all like, hey, whenever I beat up an Asian guy, I always feel kind of racist because they're Asian. What? Remember that? For like a few months ago?
James, getting back to Spectacular, I mean, what exactly is it that you love about it? Besides the fact
the art is amazing. Kubrick knocked it out of the park like he always does. This is beautiful art. It looks like Spider-Man. It feels like Spider-Man. He's teaming up with Johnny Storm. You get the Ant-Man like Marvel team up moment. You get the kind of the suspense going on with him and Ironheart and To Be Continued and all that stuff. You got the new villain who's clearly going to be a villain guy. It's going to be clearly Peter trusts him now. Now he's going to be a dick and they're going to blame Spider-Man for it. But Andre, I don't know, I forgot what his real name is, but I'm just calling him Andre the Giant because he looks just like Andre the Giant. There's no way around it. It's clearly took a photo of Andre the Giant and just sculpted him. So yeah, Andre the Giant, he's going to be an awesome bad guy in the Spider-Man book. Hey, he took on Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3. And remember, so that says something. When he took on the Hulkster brother, he's taking on Spider-Man. Andre is awesome. So yeah, you got that. The Teresa thing, the big bombshell that everybody wants to talk about at the end of this issue. I like it because I like Family Business. I got it somewhere in one of my back issues somewhere, the trade. Actually, I got the trade. It's somewhere on the shelf somewhere. But I like that story because it was new and refreshing. It's Peter teaming up with a woman and it's his sister. So it added a new family confidant and it wasn't just like, and he's going to bang her. Because it's his sister. And I love how they played off, too, how Kingpin manipulated her into thinking that she's Peter's sister, but she's really not. And the issue ends with them believing, okay, then I guess we're not related. But then you go to Richard and Mary, like, right before they get on the plane for that plane ride. And then they're talking about it. We can't wait to go back to New York. Peter's with Ben and May. You know, they're talking about this stuff, and they're all like this, and they go, yeah, and then Peter can meet his new baby sister, and it's like, oh my god, Kingpin wasn't lying. She is his sister. So it's kind of cool, and it kind of ends there, and it was kind of like a movie time for like ASM 1 or 2. So you're kind of like, is it in that universe? Is it because they're not Shield agents? So is it that universe? Is it his own thing? I mean, Richard and Mary were said to be CIA agents in like the early Stan Lee stuff, but that got retconned to being Shield when Shield was invented. So were they both CIA agents before, and that's how Teresa got in with the CIA because of their parents' connections before they joined Shield? I guess that's what you're going with now. Is that? So I like that story. So having that now in canon, and now you got his sister, which means you don't got to have the same old stuff with Aunt May no more because you can have that family connection now with his sister, and she's around his age, like she's only like 4 or 5 years younger than him. So it's kind of cool how you can get him now coming to somebody who's around his age to talk to, and not Aunt May, and she's still a relative of his, and because she's a CIA agent, she can take care of her fucking self.
So James, thumbs up, I take it?
Oh yeah, I give it a thumbs up, and I can't wait to see where this goes with Teresa, where Aunt Mary Jane's gonna play into all of this, because Mary Jane never met Teresa in that one shot, so I can imagine like Peter hanging out with his sister, MJ, being like, who the fuck is this new chick? You know what I mean? Oh, it's your sister that you never mentioned for Peter in all the years that we were together.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna give my thumb rating first because.
Oh, I want to give mine. Can I give mine first? Because Sky didn't give it.
Yeah, you.
2 thumbs up. I would give a third one if I was a freak with 3 thumbs.
Here's mine.
John sucks. John sucks.
Look.
This is an actual good Spider-Man. This is the first good 616 Peter book in over a decade, I feel like.
Look, let me throw this out there. I hated every panel of this comic.
You suck.
No, okay. I'm over-exaggerating a little bit because I will admit that Teresa cliffhanger is interesting. I'm interested into where they go with that. Having said that,
you still suck.
Well, okay, having said that, here's my point. The intro with Peter recapping his origin to Johnny Storm for absolutely no reason was annoying.
They call it out, though. He's like, Peter, you don't got to say that shit. So I like how they did, too, because it's classic Johnny Storm. Going like, so Peter, what's up with you? My Uncle Ben is dead. Oh, God, here he goes again. You can see that happening with them.
I was willing to accept that he was recapping the origin because it's a new Spider-Man book. But then the moment
not really new. I mean, this is from 92 and it's the same title.
But then they said, oh yeah, he's just talking to Johnny Storm just because. I'm like, why? Okay, so you had that. Then you had the bank robbery, which was Spider-Man was too incompetent, so he had to be saved by Scott frickin' Lang.
You have no room to fucking talk after what Amazing's been doing for 2 to 3 years.
I know. But still.
I will take the Ant-Man one, because at least it's kind of, I still exist, bye! It's not like Amazing where it's like, buy this new character book that Dan Slott cares about more than Peter.
But it's like,
the rest of the issue, you get a sense. Okay, I don't want to debate with John. I'm over this. He's giving his review.
So I didn't like the bank robbery scene. I don't care about this new tech guy who somehow says that they're like, oh, even Tony Stark had to go to him to fix his tech. I'm like, Tony Stark doesn't need anyone to fix his tech. All right, it's like this is the guy who. Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Okay, being that it's Scott Lang saying that, maybe it's just him over-exaggerating. Like, yeah, Tony also uses this guy. He's totally cool, Peter.
It's like, nope, sorry, not buying it. And then it's like, oh yeah, and then they spent basically half the issue in this one room with this character that it's just like, oh yeah,
it's setting up a new character, John. It's not like Dan Slott, who introduces somebody at the final page of the goddamn issue, and then we won't see him again for a year.
Then it's like, I don't know. It's just like this character. I didn't like it.
How can you not like Andre the Giant? It's Andre. He's the first WWF Hall of Famer.
And then it's like I hated the fact that the freaking editor's notes kept popping in to say, it's like, you know, that when Spider-Man saves the girl from the bank robbery, she asks him out and gives him.
Oh, that was a good thing. I love that with the comedian thing. Oh, she fell in love with Spider-Man because of his quips. That is awesome.
Yeah, I will admit that is a nice touch. But it's like,
and it's of course the irony. She gives Spider-Man the phone number, so when Peter calls her, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing, creep? How do you get my number?" You know what I mean? It's like he can't call her out because he's not gonna do it as Spider-Man. But Peter Parker calls her, she's probably gonna hang up the phone right away.
It's like you get the whole thing of, oh yeah, the editors keep popping in with their little commentary on what's happening in the issue because Peter's like, oh, is it too soon to call her? And the editors are like, yes, it is. And it's like, oh, should I call or text? It's like, no, definitely text, always text. And then at the beginning,
I like that because that's that's legitimately dating and now. That's literally me if I get a girl's phone number. It's like I don't follow. This is a personal thing with James, like we did it with Spider-Man 3. If I could just interrupt you for a second, I don't ever follow the 3-day rule. I follow the whole you wait maybe a day and you text the girl and you don't just immediately go, hey, down the fuck or whatever. You don't say that. You don't do that. It's a creep. What you say is, hey, how was your day? Or, hey, I had a really shitty day at work. How was your day? You know what I mean? You conversate them like a normal fucking human being. And then you gradually build up, each other's confidence, then to call her and ask her out on the date. So actually, so whoever the editor note was, you actually get good dating tips that I approve of. Because that's what I use.
Okay, but it's like, I didn't need to hear the commentary because it was distracting from the plot. And then it was like, at the beginning, it was like, oh my gosh, remember this? Remember when this happened in this issue back in the past? What happened with this issue back in the past? I'm like, I don't care.
It's setting up the satellite title, John. It's setting up that, yeah, this is the same universe.
And then it's
this
like,
ain't some Peter Parker in another dimension. This is the mainstream 616, the same one you're reading in Amazing.
And my final complaint is, look, I try not to bash artists too much because I'm terrible at art. No one's worse at art than I am. And so I try not to bash them too much, but honestly, I've seen a lot better from Adam Kubert. This is not the artwork that I was expecting.
I think it's because the one complaint I got with him too, and that's he's drawing the dance lot uniform, and it does not match well with his art style. That's my only complaint. And I think once we get to a few months later, once that costume is gone in Legacy, it's going to be a lot more better looking with his art.
Because it's really not, the whole book is just not looking good right now. I give this 2 thumbs down. I hated it.
I give it 3 thumbs up.
I read it twice and I hated it both times. It was a chore to read this book.
You had normal talk after the chores of reading Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man / Superior Spider-Man for the last 2 or 3 years I had to do now.
I'm going to be honest with you, James. I said this to James before the show, and he told me to go hurt myself in very painful ways.
No, I told you to go to hell.
No, that was one of the things you said to me. You said several very abusive things to me. But
I told him to go screw himself and then afterwards go to hell.
Because here's what I have to say. Right before I bought this comic, I went to go see Transformers The Last Night, which came out this week. And I enjoyed Transformers The Last Night more than I enjoyed this comic. I'm putting that on the internet. It is on the record. Transformers 5 is better than this. I'm going to be honest with you.
You suck at life.
I got more.
John, I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul. That's all I'm saying.
I got more enjoyment out of Transformers 5 than I did this issue of Spider-Man. Which I cannot believe I'm saying that either. I hated this comic. I hated every word of it. I hated every panel of it. Except for the last page, which was Teresa Parker. That's the only... It's like, okay, Peter might be dating a comedian. Okay.
He's not, though. It's the classic Parker lock. She gave Spider-Man the phone number, but she didn't give it to Peter Parker. He's gonna call her, and she's gonna be like, "Dude, who the fuck are you?" and hang up on him, think he's a creepo.
I don't know. It's just like there's potential with the Peter Parker sister thing, but other than that, this was a waste of $5. And
You have no room to talk with the waste of $10 of amazing that happened a few months ago. Felt like years ago.
so my thumb rating is thumbs down, and when I say thumbs down, I mean thumb down in the ground, drilling to the Earth's core, because it's like that's how much I hated this book. It's the worst Spider-Man comic I think I've read in probably a good few years. Like, I don't even think I hated Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, number 10 with that stupid Doc Ock line. Remember that issue, James, with Scorpio and the Zodiac?
How can you say... How was anything there worse than that? How? What was worse?
Everything.
How? That doesn't say anything. How was him meeting Ant-Man and Andre the Giant any fucking worse than that? Then Norman Osborn's sane now.
Norman Osborn being sane didn't annoy the crap out of me like this did.
How?
I'm going to be honest, James.
That's character assassination. This was classic Spider-Man.
It didn't read like classic Spider-Man to me. It read like, ha ha, Spider-Man, ha ha, joke, ha ha.
So Dan Slott's run.
No, like, Dan Slott's run hyped up to 10,000. Like, it just, all the dialogue, the way the dialogue was written was just like, ha ha, ha, Spider-Man, ha ha. I hated this book. I hated it so much.
I'm saying that you're completely insane.
I hated this book so much.
You are insane.
Thank you, James. Any other thoughts that aren't abusive insults towards my character, James?
I'm just saying right now, I can't see how you can like anything Dan Slott wrote over this. I don't see how this could be any less harmful than that shit.
All right, but we're going to move into a spoiler section now, so anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled...
Spoiler, John hates puppies.
I do not. I love puppies.
I don't know, because going by this podcast, you hate everything that's good.
No, I don't. I'm not gonna defend myself against your abusive stuff, James. Because you know what? I don't know. So, yeah, we're going to move into a spoiler section now. If you don't want to be spoiled for Spider-Man Homecoming, you might want to turn off the podcast because we're basically going to run down a cast list that has quite a few spoilers in it.
For Iron Man 4.
For Spider-Man Homecoming, James. That's
for
what
Iron Man 4.
So, if you don't want to be spoiled, we'll give you 10 seconds. So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6... 5, 4,
Iron Man.
3, 2, 1, 0.
You didn't see what I made you say, did you?
No, I said 4, and then you were like, Iron Man.
No, I said Iron Man first, and then I said 4. Then you said 4.
Anyway, so Spider-Man Homecoming today got an official cast list, and the big thing that everyone took away from it was, oh my gosh, Gwyneth Paltrow's in this movie.
Which means Iron Man 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna admit that doesn't do well for my argument, but
Well, what are we gonna get? The ghost of Jeff Bridges now from Iron Man 2? Iron Man 1? Yeah, are we gonna get Justin Hammer now? He's the one who's financing all these villains tech. You know, any more Iron Man fucking people you want to throw in this movie?
Yeah, she's gonna be in there, and yeah, we found out who Donald Glover is. He's the Prowler from the Ultimate Universe, who is Miles Morales' uncle. Which is leading to...
I told John, get ready for the one-off line where they go, my little nephew Miles. You wait. There's no reason for him to be in this movie if it isn't a name drop Miles.
Yeah, literally, you've put Miles Morales' uncle in this movie. Then you've made Ned Leeds into Gonky, basically. And so there are a lot of Miles Morales connections in this movie. Then you also have Matt Gargan is in this movie, apparently. And you have two shockers. One is Jackson
How
Bryce.
much you bet they're gonna make Matt Gargan a fucking guy in a green Iron Man suit with a tail?
You have Jackson Bryce, which, forgive me if I'm wrong, is Ultimate Shocker. Is that right?
No.
Dang it.
He's still Herman Schultz.
Then who is Jackson? No, wait a minute. Oh my gosh.
What?
Jackson Bryce is the freaking Big Wheel from Rocket Racer. The Rocket Racer arc. Oh my gosh. I just remembered that.
So basically, they're going to say that this is all Stark Tech, every Spider-Man villain now.
Oh my gosh. How did I mix up Jackson Bryce with Shocker? Oh my gosh. Because I completely forgot who Jackson Bryce was. And now it just dawned on me. He's the freaking Big Wheel. That's brilliant. Okay, that's the most brilliant thing
Literally,
I've heard.
Prowler, Rocket Racer, Scorpion. Are they going to fucking literally go as far as saying every Spider-Man villain is connected to Tony Stark Tech?
Prowler, Big Wheel, Scorpion, Shocker. I mean, Big Wheel is actually a shocker in this movie. There's two shockers, apparently. So, yeah. Jackson Bryce, a.k.a. Big Wheel, is going to be Shocker.
This movie's losing me. This movie is literally... This whole Spider-Man situation with movies is getting to the point of, God damn it, can't we just go back to Spider-Man 3? Can we go back 10 years, John, and slap everybody involved with Marvel and Sony in the face, saying, don't pull this shit with the character?
So you got the Big Wheel is going to be Shocker, which, oh my gosh, that literally just dawned on me on the air, and that's amazing.
It's not amazing.
Yes, it is.
It's not spectacular. It's not amazing. It's not spectacular. It's not friendly neighborhood. It's not nothing. It's shit.
I'm going to go in the movie theater and laugh my butt off at that.
Why do you need two shockers?
They put the Big Wheel in a movie. That's awesome.
Do you need two shockers?
You got two shockers, a vulture, a scorpion, a prowler, a pepper potts.
Don't eat this. It's literally, you're throwing every... It's literally what I told John before the show. They're making sure they throw every D-list villain now in this movie so that way Sony can't get their hands on them.
We've also got Anjali Rice, I hope I'm saying her name right, is playing a girl named Betty, probably Betty Brant. There's a girl named Sally, who's going to be a character, probably Sally Averill. It's like we don't have last names for these two, but it's like we know who they are, basically.
It's going to be like what the Power Ranger movie did, where we won't name the last name of some of the characters because we change their ethnicity. You know what I mean?
It's like Betty Brant is going to be like the girl who plays Betty looks so much like Gwen, so much like Gwen Stacy.
They got her in the Gwen clothes, I know.
It's
But
like
not only they got her in the Glen clothes, but when I see the blonde girl who hangs out with Liz Allen, I just think Spectacular Spider-Man the cartoon. Why isn't this fucking not? Why wasn't that one Sally? You think that's common sense right there, casting?
no, she's Betty. She's Betty Brant.
Which makes no goddamn sense that Betty Brant's the blonde. Betty fucking Brant's the blonde.
I don't know, James.
The blonde who looks like Gwen is Betty Brant.
James, we're 2 weeks away from this movie show. Is this kid? Are you going to be drinking alcohol on this movie show?
Well, let's just say, I'm probably going to go to that Fiedler and Racine now, because thank God that Fiedler, Marcus, and Racine allows alcohol when you're reviewing the movie. Because that's the only I'm going to get through this thing, I think.
2 weeks from now, we will have seen Spider-Man Homecoming.
If you told me 5 years ago, John, that this would be my reaction to the MCU Spider-Man movie, I would have told you to go fuck yourself.
Well, I would have prepared.
I completely lost all interest. Thanks, Marl.
It would have prepared me for what I heard from you tonight, but
I told you that when you die 100 years from now, you can go to hell for picking Dan Slott's Amazing Spider-Man over Zdarsky's Spectacular Spider-Man.
ladies and gentlemen, we've got this official cast list has got some interesting stuff in it. It really does.
And none of it interests me.
It's got Gwyneth Paltrow as a cameo. I don't know if it's a cameo. I don't know what her
It's
role is.
It's not going to be a cameo because how can Iron Man be in his own movie without his love interest, John?
And then you've got.
I'll just learn to the point that when this came out and I heard that Gwyneth Paltrow was in the movie, I told a couple of my coworkers from work. One of them is even who loves reading the comics too, and he's a big Spider-Man fan. He can quote any line from Ultimate Spider-Man, from the original Peter and Miles stuff. And even he goes, just fucking call it Iron Man 4 now. He yelled out in the kitchen, Cal, I love you, man, you're awesome. He yelled out, just fucking call it Iron Man 4. Because once you hear Gwyneth Paltrow, you know what it is now. It's Iron Man 4. Call it that, Sony. You got your Iron Man movie. Fuck Spider-Man. He could be in the corner there. Good job. He gets to do part of saving the day at the end of this fucking movie. Literally, you know what's pretty bad when the guy, like I said, the guy from my work, who can quote any line from Ultimate Spider-Man in the comics, who was telling me whenever we talk about this movie at work, he's like, well, it could still be good because you want to, introduce him in the MCU and they're using Iron Man, it makes sense. Even he finally got to the boiling point of, just call it Iron Man 4 now. Fucking, you're going to focus on, Gwyneth Paltrow now? It's going to be, who else from the Iron Man movies you want to throw in this movie now? Is the ghost of Jeff Bridges going to show up? Is Justin Hammer going to be here?
Where's Guy Pearce? Give me some Guy Pearce.
Is Coulson gonna appear for the first time since he supposedly died and not connected to the fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just so he can suck Tony Stark's dick some more? What is it? Call it what it is. Sony got to make Iron Man 4. Fuck the Spider-Man fans that want an MCU Spider-Man. They're getting Iron Man 4 with Spider-Man's names on it because we're Sony and technically we can't put Iron Man's name in the title.
So we got Prowler, 2 Shockers, Scorpion.
All going to be connected to Tony Stark.
You've got Prowler, two Shockers, a Scorpion, a Betty Brant, a Sally Averill, a Pepper Potts.
Why do you need Pepper Potts in a Spider-Man movie? Besides with that one-off joke like a year ago in Peter Calder, how many other times can you name on your top of your head where Pepper Potts was ever in a fucking Spider-Man book?
Literally never have I ever seen that besides that one
what does she got to do in the fucking Spider-Man movie other than the fact that she's Tony Stark's girlfriend?
Ex-girlfriend. They're taking a break.
No, they're going to get back together in this movie when Tony saves the day.
It's nobody's fault. It's just that Tony's a pain in the ass.
It's literally looking like what it is. It's Sony got to make Iron Man 4.
So you're not positive, James.
Literally, it's a complete opposite of what I said this movie should have been. You can have Tony in this movie, just don't have him be the focal point. When you throw his girlfriend in the fucking movie, he's now the focal point. Besides her Aunt May introduced in an MCU, did you see fucking Gwen Stacy in fucking Civil War? Did you see Harry Osborn in Civil War? Did you see Mary Jane in Civil War? No, because it wasn't their movie. It was the Captain America movie. They knew their fucking place as Spider-Man. What Spider-Man was in Civil War is what fucking Tony Stark should be in Homecoming. Not him being the co-star, but more the true star. Tom Holland can go over there in the corner. He can't even save the fucking yacht from breaking apart. It's going to be because the international trailer spoils that it's fucking Tony who actually does that shit. The epic Spider-Man pulling the ship back together, it's not even him. Because fuck you, Spider-Man fans. You bought a Spider-Man movie ticket wanting to go see a Spider-Man movie? Well, fuck you. You're getting Iron Man.
Any other thoughts, James?
Just that I'm really going to hate this movie. I am going to so hate this movie. Thank God for Spectacular Spider-Man. Because I think that's going to be the only thing for the next year I'm going to be enjoying coming out of Spider-Man.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. We don't really have anything else.
It's like the Marvel Universe wrote this movie. Like the actual characters in the fucking universe. Oh, Spider-Man's a menace. Jonah said so he's going to be the backing character in an Iron Man movie. He doesn't get no respect, and he's not even getting his own respect in the MCU in his own fucking movie.
Any other shout-outs or final words before we sign off, James?
Yeah, I got a few shout-outs. First shout-out is, like I said to my coworkers, especially Cal, I brought you up, so Cal, I'm probably going to mention on the show that I brought you up, dude, so shout-out to you, bro. You're awesome. Congratulations on the promotion, and that's not me kissing your ass, because you're actually a pretty cool guy, and we're always nice to me. So awesome to you, man. Like I told John, I got some back issues, so shout out to, Bagley and Michelini and the people who worked on these 90s Spider-Man books I picked up. Shout out to those guys. They're awesome, and it's better than the shit we're getting right now. What amazing. I'll take trial by jury any fucking week over what we got with Dan Slott. And a final shout out, and it's going to be, John probably knows what's coming if you follow my Twitter feed. Final shout out goes to Milan and Jeff, because the three of us, the three amigos, the three stooges, whatever the fuck you want to call us, the three of us are bringing back Angel Go Radio.
Woo!
We are getting everything together for it. Nothing set in stone for dates yet, so don't quote me on anything. Just coming soon. It's gonna be sometime, probably sometime in 2017 before this year's over. You're gonna, forbidding, God forbid, knock on wood, nothing bad happens to any of us. 2017, you should at least get one-ish episode out. The plan's gonna be to go monthly, instead of doing it every single week, because that would fucked us up in the asses before, because you can never schedule like the 5 or 6 people we had, So it's gonna be once a month, and then we're probably just gonna do stuff like each month's a different theme. Like probably our first month back, we're gonna be like catching up. Then the second month will be movie. Third month will be us, Dino Charge, because we kind of quit midway through Dino Charge, so we get to talk about that in Super. Then the finale, then we can go on to Ninja Steel, and then we can jump to let's talk about this season or that Sentai or this news or that news. That's gonna be the format going forward. I think. I'm really excited. Jeff was like over the moon, like, oh my god, I can't believe we're back. He wants us to get a mascot, especially when he found out it's just gonna be the three of us. He was really like, we gotta have a mascot, and we're like throwing out Larago and Furbus and all these other characters from Power Rangers and shit like that. So Jeff's excited for it. Milan was like the second I asked him, hey, do you want me back on the show? Milan said, I'm down. Like immediately, like seconds later, Facebook was like, I'm down. I'm excited for it. Trevor's not coming back, but I'm not really surprised, because personally, I know Trevor's personal life, and he can't really handle a podcast right now. Effie's in college and says he has no time for it. Shell's got she's more popular than ever with her conventions and cosplay and her modeling, so she was a no, and we're not asking he who shall not be named. So the three of us are excited to come back. So it's gonna be me, Jeff, and Milan, once a month. Tune in for more details once I get more. But right now, all I can say is this week, me, Milan, and Jeff have decided to bring back Angel Radio. You're more phenomenal, blast of the past. So shout out to us, shout out to AGR. We're back, bitches. And not the other Angel Radio that we just found out about when we announced that we're coming back, because that was completely random. That's why I posted on Facebook, well, this is awkward. Could we announce our return? And then Milan's go, there's another podcast that's calling itself Angel Go Radio now. And he showed me their Twitter, and I totally tweeted to them, like, well, that was awkward, ... And I never got a reply back. So shout out to the other Angel Go Radio. At least you get to be number 2.
Okay, my shout-outs, Marvel Stanley, Steve Ditko, thank you for Spider-Man, Zdarsky, and Adam Kubert. Thank you at least for making James smile. Let's see, other shout-outs, I mentioned it before, Transformers The Last Night. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, and I had fun with it, so you know what, go see it, it's fun. There is actually like some genuinely there are genuinely good plot moments in there where you're like, oh,
I'm not going to that movie because I think it's gonna be bullshit. That the Transformer movie that's gonna be shit again is probably gonna make more money than the Power Ranger movie that was good. So out of just necessity and protest over that, I'm not seeing it.
But there are actually some good moments in this Transformers movie where it's like, oh my gosh, you actually followed storytelling 101. And you actually got like an emotional plot point that like made me care about these characters. Wow, good for you. But it's like, so yeah, Transformers The Last Night, go see it. Other shout-outs, I don't really have any other shout-outs. So,
oh, I got another shout-out. Shout out to Peter and Mary Jane. Congratulations, Peter. You got it in the kitchen. That is a thumbs up from James.
Other shout-outs, I guess, just...
Shout out to Macho Man Randy Savage. Rest in peace, man. You're awesome. I'm sorry, I'm just going for these old packages. I just got it.
Shout out to you, the viewers, because thank you for tuning in. So that's going to be all for this week. Next week we have Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, number 29, and Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider, number 4. So that'll be fun. And then the week after that is Spider-Man Homecoming. That'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to the Homecoming show.
Do you want to tell them what your plan is the week after Homecoming?
The week after Homecoming, we're going to take a week off and do an Iron Man 1 movie commentary. I know James just spent the past 10 minutes bitching about how Iron Man's taking over everything. Yeah, Iron Man's...
Well, that's different because it's an Iron Man movie. It's not the fucking Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, so we're going to... After Homecoming, we're going to take a week off and start our monthly MCU commentary podcast. So
which I'm excited for because that phase 1, I like it how it's like the secret origins, going over the origins of characters again. Like when you get the Hulk, I love how fascinating it is because it's literally let's take the script for the Hulk sequel from the Ang Lee movie that never got made and actually rewrite it and make it an actual fucking good movie.
All right, but thank you all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week.